Hello everyone and welcome to the Polytopia World Championships qualifiers. What a day we've had. The quarterfinals have just ended. It has been so hard fought, but we'll get into that. I am Laith. I was the host of the 2025 edition. I am joined by a much better player, frankly, than myself. I know, Funny, how you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. The gameplay was just immaculate. So, excited to see some IMO today. Ooh, some spoilers.
You sported a nose. Sorry, I didn't see that last week.
No.
That's new. All right, fair. Okay, is that in celebration for what we're doing here today?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, I think a lot of people will see the connection to IMO here. And if you don't, well...
You're not in the know. Well, let's address those people not in the know. What are we doing here today? Take me through what exactly the format of the Polytopia World Championships is.
Yeah, we're all getting ready for the World Championships, second one ever in October. But right now, we got to figure out some tribe champions. So every single one of the human tribes in Polytopia is going to be represented by someone as skilled as possible. So this is an all one tribe tournament right now to figure out who is best qualified to represent that tribe. And then on September 20th, once we have our 12 winners there, they'll go to the face-offs, where every single tribe will have their representative. They will play in the top 8 advance to the championship finals.
Of course, the championship finals are very special because they are going to be performed in front of a live studio audience in Stockholm. Players are going to get flown in, hosts, casters, everyone is going to be there. And of course, you at home, if you decide to pick up a ticket, which frankly, you should. Now, who are the tribes? Let's take a look. We've had a couple of qualifiers already. We had the Vengir tribe last week, where Mythic RNG did go through and sweep everyone, really, through that tournament. We'll go through that in a second. But these are the tribes that are going to have representatives. 8 of these tribes are going to have representatives going to the grand final. We talked a little bit before this. You said Hoodrick was your favorite. What did you think of the games last week with Mythic coming out on top?
They were amazing games. I mean, there's a difference, right, between Vengir facing Vengir and Vengir facing all the other tribes. Like, just like the kind of strategies. Like, they're probably the most unique tribe out of all of them. I mean, it's a stream. It was like must-watch TV, basically.
I like that.
Check out everything there.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And we actually had our first sweep in a final. So far, they have been bitterly fought. But maybe that will change today with the IMO tribe. That is who we are focusing on. We're going to find the tribe representative of the IMO, who is going to be chief of the IMO. But they have, of course, couple of unique characteristics. Talk me through the IMO. How do they play? What do they look like?
Yeah, the IMO is another very unique tribe. I'm going to keep saying that, but they're all special. It's just that IMO is known for starting with philosophy. That makes all of their tech costs cheaper, so whatever kind of path you want to go for, whatever the map's presenting you, it's very easy to access for you. And generally, you're going to see players picking up, like, everything. You're going to get to very late game, end game positions, like, early on. You're going to see lots of markets, all that stuff, like high economy. They're really known kind of the opposite of Vengir, to be honest. If Vengir is more like the IMO are peaceful.
Well,
so
talk me through this Mindbender unit.
Oh, yes. So IMO is unique in that they are the only tribe to start off with a Mindbender unit, if you don't count Symante's Shaman. But the Mindbender is, like, very powerful if used correctly. They can convert any of only the opponent's units. They can't run convert them, so you have to set it up, play a little more defensively with that. But it can have a huge swing in the game if you just steal one of your opponent's most powerful units.
Well, I'm excited you know what I'm calling it? We're absolutely going to see that today. Let's take a quick look at the bracket. We have some of these are currently ongoing. Now, it's important to note that Yeti Peaks was the representative of the IMO last year. Le Liberateur, who he's facing off against in the quarterfinals, was a tribe representative himself and went to the grand final, but was knocked out in the quarterfinals in that very first week. So far, we have yet to see someone retain their throne, someone retain their crown and represent their tribe 2 years in a row. So the other semi-final still hotly contested. I can also reveal that Viking the Cat was a little bit late, so lost his first match by walkover. So Dux has one in the bag, and we'll see who comes out on top in those other two. But for just right this second, we are seeing Majak versus Willibomb. Now, Willibomb you might recognize from previous ones. We've seen him in semifinals before. We've seen him play incredibly well, and now he's made it to another semi-final. It's worth noting that over 1,000 players have played in every single individual qualifier, and you could participate yourself. Not for the ones that have already qualified, of course, but going forward, you can yourself decide, I'm going to try and qualify for one of these tribes. Next week, we have the Quetzali tribe. So if you fancy yourself as a bit of a Polytopia player, why not? There's no harm in giving it a go and give it a try. I think I would. Why not? Do you think?
Absolutely.
What if, okay, now, what if I, as one of the casters, become the tribe representative? Does that mean I get to cast over my own game? Do you think? Or do you think there might be some secret rules?
We were talking about this actually.
Yeah.
There is an ongoing conspiracy that I am Justini Linguini, that we're the same person, and that I purposefully threw last year so that I wouldn't have to cast my own game, just because it would be difficult to like run between chairs.
To be fair, I've never seen you two in the same
that.
room. I've never seen you two in the same room.
Yeah.
It's a fact at this point. So are you officially denying the allegations?
I am denying the allegations. I am not Justini Linguini.
I don't know about all that. I've heard I've heard some very compelling reports. Okay, I've heard some very compelling reports. You have gone on record to say that IMO is not your favorite tribe. How do they rank in terms of your rankings? In terms of like, if I was like, yo, you got to represent the IMO, how confident are you? Is that an exciting pros, or are you thinking I would rather do anything else?
No. Well, the thing about IMO is that like I would be excited for the fact that they're a very strong tribe, that they're very good,
good.
that I like them. But I wouldn't be in the fact that, I'd have to study up more. Like they're unique, they're individual, right? Like the kinds of things that I know about other tribes that would help me succeed there are not helping me out in IMO. Yeah. They're like their own beast.
So what do we? So you have said that we're expecting very fast tech. We're expecting potential individual game swings. It sounds to me like we're in for a good time if we're going to see the breadth of Polytopia gameplay condensed down into very short bursts, and then at any given moment with a properly set up Mindbender like that, a giant can be stolen and the game can be won. Now, we are going to go to Majak versus Willibomb, our very first semi-final. Remember, this is a best of 3, and it begins now. Take me through the start.
Yeah, so you're going to see... Okay, very interesting right here. Willibomb running his Mindbender straight away. Now, I think this is because he's the away player. You can tell based on the colors of the players, of course. We have that classic teal IMO for the host, and red. Willibomb played second here, and he does not want his Mindbender to get converted. This is something that was playing out constantly in the qualifiers leading up to this stage, where players would run their Mindbenders straight into each other, and the away player would be the one who ends up losing their Mindbender. Could happen to the host as well, but Willibomb not taking any chances. Normally you're going to run straight to the center because that leads to more useful bits of the map later on for you, but running his Mindbender into the corner. Otherwise, we're seeing pretty similar strategies in the opening, except an Explorer off of that capital.
Yes, the lighthouse.
Gonna trade, yeah. Well, Willibomb, he should be doing his score counting and knowing that he just pulled off an Explorer there, but what he doesn't know, I mean, he can confirm it too, just seeing that he has vision on the lighthouse and no unit around there. What he doesn't know is if that came from an Explorer ruin or if he took it on his capital. After the tech and city capture there, Willibomb should know if he's doing his score counting, what happened there.
What's interesting that Willibomb's obviously can't see Majak. Majak knowing exactly where Willibomb's capital is. Right now, 3 cities to 1. You have to think Majak might use that to his advantage a little bit. What do you think of that Explorer?
I thought it was really bold. It's worked off. It paid off for him just because he was able to buy forestry before that second city capture. It's a very common strategy you were seeing in some of the earlier rounds too, that players would go ahead and buy hunting and forestry by chopping a forest on the capital to afford it early on. Just because having those 2 techs, I mean, Willibomb's delay, picking up forestry as well. Everyone wants to pick up that. okay, Explorer is gonna be much better for Willibomb just because it gets him 7 stars. I was thinking another thing that's bold about this Explorer is that it's kind of, if it does meet Willibomb, you're only getting 3 stars from him, and you're giving Willibomb that information like where you are, just for the fact that you have an Explorer that can meet like that. And now Willibomb has great vision on him. Like, he had the confidence to go with that Explorer. Budget according to it.
From the look of the
so
map, do you
Willibomb's
anticipate sort of early conflict here, given how close those cities are? I mean, what, they're like in 3 tiles. And there are mountains in the way, but they are very, very close to one another.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for Willibomb is that, for both players, really, they have the one unclaimed village up in the northeast. There should be some kind of contest over that. The problem for both players is that it's difficult for them to get their units out to actually reach there. So my question is, who's going to invest more into that? Especially with how rough the terrain is. It seems like Willibomb should have the advantages in actually picking up that village, just with how close his units are, or how close his villages are, how easy it is for him to train units there.
Well, Majak doesn't know how close that other village is. He can't. I mean, he can kind of guess, obviously. But
yeah,
having a little bit of vision obscured is not always the best thing here.
No, it's also just difficult for him. Like, the tactics aren't working out in his favor if he wants to put units around there. Like, with the forest east of his capital, that would be a lovely spot to send riders around the mountain. But now Willibomb can pretty easily block if he gets climbing ever, by just sending a warrior up north of that 3rd village closer to the center. I think Willibomb... I'm imagining there's going to be a little scuffle, but Willibomb should take that 1st village, and as soon as he picks up that village, it's going to like demand some kind of response of like, how do you defend your capital if you're Majak? I think he might just go ahead and try to pick up a giant somehow. So the question is, how is he going to do that? Maybe climbing into mining smithery. Just with having philosophy already, all these techs are very cheap. But he hasn't really shown his hand yet. Majak has forestry, of course, but forestry and mathematics alone are not enough for this giant, which he might need. He might surprise me with a completely different strategy, too. Imo is very flexible like that.
Yeah, he could be.
But he's got the stars now.
Going,
so.
You know what? I'm going to change everything. I also want to be clear. We operate on a delay. So if our players were to be watching the stream, they would be watching a delayed version, so they can get no sort of additional intel. Which is why we're free to make recommendations, and also, well, you can make recommendations. I make general observations, I think, in terms of maybe listen more to I Know Funny than me. I don't know. Who do you think wins in a 1v1? You or me?
Oh, well, I mean, we've never played a 1v1.
Exactly,
we don't have any records,
I've never
so it could
lost
be
to
anyone.
you. So that's the key part.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah, Majak is sliding into a deep think here. It is a difficult position for him to play out with how expensive it all is. And that's the other thing about the Explorer from early on. That's a long-term... nothing.
It doesn't take any.
He's just going to bank his stars right now. He has some plan. He has something he wants to do with those 22 stars he starts with next turn. But for right now, yeah, sliding into a defense. And he's letting Willibomb train all these riders. And saying, yeah, you didn't, buy any of the techs that are going to help you out. There it is, climbing.
Nice.
Yeah, Willibomb is pressuring that capital. With roads, there's a potential for a capital siege.
Yeah.
And with where he's placed this rider, if Majak leaves his capital unattended, Willibomb does just go ahead and step in with that rider.
He's gonna
to siege
dive in this early? Do you think? That would be very bold indeed. Mathematics. Yeah, okay. It's a very fast game so far.
Yeah, it's... I don't think mathematics can defend this position.
No.
I mean, unless he gets a catapult in the back to just prepare for the fact that his capital is going to get sieged every turn from now until eternity. He needs units to actually like break the siege on his capital, because if he doesn't train a warrior, the rider just runs in. If he does train a warrior, Willibomb is able to buy 2 roads, and that's enough to get all of his units in to get a siege. So Majak needs to have some way to unsiege his capital, and there's a catapult. Okay. So, with Willibomb seeing the catapult, population ruin too. That changes things up a lot. He's gotten 13 stars, so it's a question of what tech he wants to buy. I think he might just go straight into mathematics. Mathematics for Willibomb is much better. It gets him a giant on his capital. Roads too. Yeah. So, he can go after the siege here. He has just enough stars if he wants to do that. I mean, he's got a few extra if you count the forests he can chop. But, yeah, he's going after the siege. He's going after the siege. Yeah, this allows him to step on that contested village. He's going to be able to use the roads later to go ahead and pick up a giant on his capital with road connections. He's going to have 5 villages. He's sending his riders forwards.
The capital?
Yeah.
Go on.
The catapult will unsiege, but if Willibomb sends these 2 riders forwards, then that catapult is in big trouble.
Worth noting that in the semi-finals and finals, we've only had one capital siege that's resulted in a win. It's a very, should we say, rare way to win in this sort of matchup. But one that we always look for, obviously. Bit of a statement if you're able to go and siege your capitals, your opponent's capital, especially considering this is a best of 3. I mean, you have to carry that sort of mentality going forward. But this is the kind of aggressive gameplay that we've seen from Willibomb in previous iterations amongst different tribes. That is the one defining factor.
Yeah, I think Willibomb maybe left took his hand off the throttle a little too much there. I think he could have sacrificed a rider, pick up some damage on the catapult. I don't think that tactic ends up doing anything though. He's decided to keep himself safe, but this allows Majak to go ahead and actually defend his catapult up in the north. But if he just keeps picking up sieges on the capital, I mean the catapult just keeps picking up kills, so... Willibomb's got some space, but the game is far from over at this point. The catapult's well defended. Willibomb does have an aggressive start, but he does not have mathematics. With that lighthouse too, the task of actually picking up the giant for Majak become a little easier, and boom, big border growth is going to stop these riders from being such a nuisance. Going to cost him all his stars though. He does have the one forest to chop. I didn't notice any others, so going to have to give up a siege on his capital again. But at the very least, blocking these riders from being nearly as effective as they were. No, earlier in the quarterfinals, Willibomb was actually playing against TT, a name we might not recognize from the World Champion Circuit, but he was there last year. He's actually Lib, the Jinji representative's brother, coaching him through some of those games. Very skilled player in his own right. Their series went 2-1. It was the second game where Willibomb was able to win with a capital snipe, so carrying over some of that into this right now. He's got 5 stars left. He has a variety of ways to pick up this giant on his capital. As soon as he does that, though, with the monument he gets some easy stars back, like as many as he puts in. Yeah, I might expect him to go ahead after, like, pick up the animal to get to level 2 on this Leto city he's just captured. Then put the Park of Fortune there. But he's got many choices for how he wants to do this.
Absolutely. I mean, the income is somewhat even. The scores are dead. But Willibomb, you have to think, his game to lose now. And I don't think he's going to be in a rush to lose it.
No. He's going after those quick level 5 upgrades and then taking a workshop. Explorer!
Interesting.
I preempted incorrectly.
My God.
Yeah.
I think he's probably trying to get one of those lighthouses, but it does not seem to have worked for him.
Yeah, he does pick up vision on the final remaining cities of Majak, though.
Majak now has to deal with his capital siege. What's he going to do? I imagine he's going to hurl a rocket at it. There it is.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that, to be honest. I thought he would go in with a warrior because it frees up that north city. The one thing about the catapults is that they're very difficult to move, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's trained it and he's been able to use it the last couple of turns, effectively. But now he can't train anything else on that city up in the north. It's blocking him off, and he's going to have to invest like a whole tempo on that next turn. He's not even training a warrior on his capital. He feels like he's just going to get sieged again.
I think
he doesn't even want to.
He's probably looking at that catapult and thinking that is the thing that's going to protect this this area. Maybe Willibomb needs to start looking at sort of longer term plans. He might not get the little rush he was hoping for. I mean, that catapult is going to kill anything that's on there, realistically. So we're going to need to see something from him on that front. Whether or not he decides to go for that. I mean, again, if you're Willibomb in this situation, you probably feel like you have a decent command, and you can sort of take your time here. Doesn't want to take too long, obviously, just in case there is something that Majak can do. But starts to bring that giant forward, and I think it's going to be sort of a concerted push here.
Yeah, I think the border growth was effective at dealing with the initial rush of the riders, but it's opened him up to some other problems later on, like if Willibomb is to go into cloaks. Fortunately, if you're Majak, like cloaks are not an immediate threat. But with philosophy, with the amount of income that Willibomb has, and I'm interested too to see that play out. What happened down there. Normally, it would be a no-brainer to go after the kick off your opponent from that city, but with this Mindbender here, Willibomb is losing his unit, getting it converted. So he does go for it at the end, and now Majak has a Star Ruin. So there's the Mindbender conversion,
Nice.
Famous IMO tactic.
Well, it's great that we've seen that early on, because we don't have to describe it, we can just refer to this.
Yes. Yeah, I wonder how Majak wants to deal with this, because if he keeps his catapult where it is and uses that to unsiege his capital, then there's a little problem in that the rider up there is able to pick up some damage on him. I guess it's not too big of a problem, since this would be his third kill and allow the catapult to veteran healing itself. But it looks like Majak doesn't want to deal with that at all. Instead, he's going to go ahead like this. He gets some damage with the warrior beforehand to change the push direction of the rider, so it pushes southeast instead of south like it would have otherwise. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I cannot remember the path that the rider took to get to the capital, but it seemed very intentional to pick up. He does take 1 damage on his own warrior. Maybe it's just convenient to get that damage on the rider now. But unsieges with the giant push so that the catapult can get the rider north of the village and stay nice and healthy on that city. But again, that's another turn without training any other kind of unit on that capital, or on that north city. In the south, there's something playing out with the riders. Willibomb has the choice to, go keep his opponent Majak from capturing that city. Problem is, it doesn't allow him to capture the village down in the south if he does that. Yeah, he's going to move out of the way. He has to move out of the way. Yeah, like this. Steps right back on. That rider at 1 kill now. The Mindbender has nothing to convert since the riders can both run away. Willibomb's delaying capturing his 6th city and getting that Grand Bazaar, just to keep his opponent off. And in the zero-sum game, like 1v1 like this, that just makes sense to keep your opponent's cities down. And Willibomb getting a Mindbender up in the front, too. Very nice. One of the things about the classic interactions between slow units like Mindbenders and Giants is that if you can stack your Mindbenders, you can repel a Giant, since a Giant will have to kill one of the Mindbenders or run away, and killing will not be an option if you have 2 Mindbenders right next to each other. One of them will pick up the conversion. So Majak doesn't see the second Mindbender. He does have the catapult to repel Willibomb's Giant, do some nice range damage that the Giant can't retaliate against. He does have his own Giant on the capital. But where he's really losing is in terms of expansion. He's just down on the city count. He's pretty close on in terms of economy, looking at 17 stars of income versus 19. But after Willibomb picks up a few more cities, gets a few more upgrades, just for the fact that is going to be up 2 cities, should be able to be advantaged just absolutely here. the only question if you're Willibomb is how do you continue this attack? And with the border growth on the capital and how you're controlling space with rider roads as Willibomb, it feels like cloaks are appropriate. You can get through those mountains, get through the rough terrain of the forests, everything. It's very difficult with the setup you have with just catapults to defend against that. It's just that it requires some investment from Willibomb. Does he capture the 6th village down in the south, pick up his Grand Bazaar? Where does he use it?
Why would he not?
Yeah, it's a good question. The only thing I see there is that he could go after this Mindbender. I don't know why he would want to go after that Mindbender, but he would need to use that 5 health rider down there if he wants to kill the rider. And yeah, no.
I feel like Majak has done a lot to keep the game sort of even and competitive here. Seen off the initial jump from Willibomb. So we'll see. I mean, if you had to pick who you'd play, I assume you'd be playing in Willibomb's sort of stead here. Oh, hello. Nice.
And there's the Eye of God. Very nice explorer from Willibomb. Yeah, I would choose to play as Willibomb here, but Majak is not out of it, like, in the slightest. Like, IMO is known for, heading into the late game. Them, like next week's tribe, I'm not going to spoil, but they do head towards the late game. It's just the fact that they have access to philosophy, really. Mm-hmm. Like, if they can get it, like, just the economy and kind of like stronghold or like fortresses that they're able to set up, the defensive plays that you're able to get. The one thing about playing defensively, I mean, this is kind of true in most 4X games, but definitely true for Polytopia. You only defend on fewer cities if you're able to have more income. Mm-hmm. And philosophy is like being able to pick up like whatever text you want. If you get those markets set up and they're better than your opponents, that's the way. That's the way to getting the defense set up. The border growth on the capital is good in terms of stopping the initial onslaught. And you can see that like Willibomb can't really accomplish much around there. And he's trying to reclaim some space too with this catapult. Like Willibomb's giant is going to be pushed back. So the question for Majak is, are you able to get your economy going stronger? He is pushing into the water. He's got 24 stars right now, about fishing last turn. And Smithery now. It's not using any ports, not picking up that island city just yet, but just working on his economy. And it feels like, we know the reason why. We just talked about it. Some population growth, and I wonder how he wants to get the last 2 population for what I'm assuming he's going to get a giant up there.
Willibomb pulling back. Yeah. Here we go. Did not think he'd take it. I mean, look, he denied his opponent some stars early game, but I don't think it's going to be, like you said, I think it's going to be a little bit longer here. There was a chance. It looked like it was going to be a quick one, but I think we're in for a longer term.
Yeah, Willibomb needs to find a way to find that like killer blow, and he might find it. I've highlighted like cloaks as a possibility. He has other possibilities too. Depends on what he's partial to and how safe he wants to play it, if he wants to go into markets of his own before anything else. But like Willibomb needs to find something more. He needs more firepower, and the question is if he's going to build it up by like picking up markets first and then building his economy into it, or if he's just going to bank his stars and try to go for it immediately. Play a little impatiently here. But either way, there's a few more turns left before anything. And yeah, he's getting border growth on that south city. Like an absolutely nonsensical play unless you're looking at the potential for markets.
We could just cut you off there, but just an absolutely nonsensical play.
No. I think we're seeing Willibomb go into markets here. And finally using that Eye of God he picked up a few turns ago. Just get a few more stars going. Where does he want to use it? I guess there's a question too in if he's getting markets. He does have roads set up, so this needs to buy trade. But after trade, he also needs some tier 3 tech. So is he going to go into mathematics or smithery? One or the other, something has to come first. So advancing that catapult again, and this is why you go after the border growth on your capital. with all of the rough terrain, like the mountains blocking and then the forest in your terrain, Willibomb's riders can no longer go through there. And if they could, this catapult would be in a terrible, awful spot. But as it is a menace in Willibomb's position. Maybe he wants to pick up some more catapults. Like, he's given himself the space for it. So, like, one of the best things about his position, like, defending, and now he's even pushing. Like, this catapult is in range of 2 of Willibomb's cities, making it difficult for Willibomb to train units there. But first we see him pick up a swordsman over in the west. Maybe he's going to go after... does he have some monument he can pull up? Maybe he'll just go after roads to try to get the swordsman to siege the city over in the east. And yeah, Smithery pick up for Willibomb. So, does he go Smithery straight into trade, or does he go ahead and pick up mathematics before that? Either way, he's got 8 stars left. He needs to probably train some more units to keep himself as safe as possible on this city that's getting set up to get sieged down here.
Well, that's kind of what Majak has to do here. At the end of the day, he is down by half the amount of cities. I mean, it's 8 cities to 4. He needs to start forcing something. Too often we have seen in these qualifiers where one player is quite far ahead and the other player tends to turtle up and try and rebuff, which isn't really the play here. Again, for context, these matches can last a maximum of 1 hour, at which point it goes to a judge's decision. So if you are if you're on the losing end and there is a widening gap, that gap is always going to get wider. You need to do something, force a mistake, and try and push through. So hopefully we see something like that from Majak here. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, slow decline into a Willibomb victory.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Willibomb's starting strategy, picking up all of his roads and such, all the early villages and expansion, is that he's now in a position where, if we were looking at it just like market to market, you are limited to 1 market per city. So more cities is more markets. I mean, it's already more income anyways, but...
It starts to compound.
Yeah, if Majak's way out of this was looking into getting markets of his own set up, playing for that economic angle, Willibomb getting his own markets and getting better and more markets, just saying I can do anything you do better.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, Polytopia is a game of back and forth and sudden bursts, and you've just essentially got to time your bursts better than your opponent. Like you say, someone putting down their markets and getting a load of income is going to be useful. You might have a short-term increase or short-term way to bring your economy level, but then you got to use it, because at some point your opponent will overtake you. So we have to see something like that from Majak. He does have 2 giants on the front line and closer together than Willibomb's forces. Obviously 3 to 2 is not a great ratio for him, but there is the potential he could do something here.
Yeah, he's kind of forcing Willibomb to turtle up right now with the catapults and the giant push. And I have to compliment how bold that giant push was. Until the very last turn, there was a mindbender on that city. He would have gotten it converted and resigned. How did he know it was gone? I mean, in the vision that he did have, he saw Willibomb's other mindbender retreat, scared of the catapult, and he knows that Willibomb's not going to leave a mindbender there in range of the catapult like that. So, pretty safe bet, but also it was a gamble. It was a gamble.
Hey, look, like we said, look, you have to take those gambles sometimes, especially if you're on the losing end right now.
Yeah, and does Willibomb have a veteran rider here? No, not a veteran rider. But able to pick up a nice siege over on that west city, and doesn't really need any more vision, so solid workshop. We are seeing the first market, and it's in Willibomb's favor, and just look at the income disparity. 17 to 37 stars per turn.
The rich get
more
richer.
Than doubling. Yeah. And he's going to use all of those stars because, I mean, he's been forced to, back up, but look where the mindbenders are. The mindbenders were forced, they can't be on the cities up in the front. But fortunately for Willibomb, even without training units on those 2 front cities, he still has more cities in the back than his opponent total. So he's fine on the unit count, like in building up his army. Like, and those mindbenders are out of range of the catapult. Like, if you try to advance the giant, like, you're getting it converted. And you can't deal with these mindbenders either. So they're both holding each other off, and Willibomb is saying, yeah, while we're doing this, I'm just going to use the fact that I have twice as many stars as you in income, and use all of that to just pick up more income. And then when I have all of the income in the world, I'm going to, like, whatever the fireworks are, if it's cloaks, if it's knights, I'm going to find that, and I'm going to destroy you with it. You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Sometimes you can, if you have that superior economy, you could just sort of sit, wait, and take your time until you have overwhelming superiority and go forwards. I would like to see Willibomb push the pace a little bit. We saw him sort of poke earlier, but he does have, what, 5 giants to his opponents too, as well as, what, 12 units to Majak 7? He could definitely be pushing here.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty is with that border growth still. Like, everything that was making it difficult to pick up a strong attack earlier on is making it difficult for Willibomb right now. We're seeing another market that's I mean, the sad truth is, like, Majak's markets are just not as good as Willibomb's markets.
What would
either.
give you
It's
that
not only
idea?
they have
That's
less of
another
them,
giant. This is excessive. This is excessive.
You should have gone for a park, you think?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Just flex on him.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see Willibomb set up markets maybe on the next turn too, and then he's gonna have to decide like what he wants to do. I imagine he's going to go into cloaks. It's very difficult for Majak to do anything about that. Like, cloaks first, then he picks up knights, uses them in tandem, and as soon as like the first, maybe second cloak lands, I don't know. I'm seeing writing on the wall, as it were, but Majak hasn't resigned, so I give him credit that he's clever and he sees some path for himself. He's picking up markets, but it feels like his markets are a case of too little too late. Another star ruin is exactly how you want to see this start. So, first market getting upgraded a little bit more. We can see another market pop up in the DD city, in the northern city, and then even a level 2 market down in this 4th city. See the economy explode, as it were. But yeah, ooh, nice and defensive of that catapult, advancing the 2 giants forwards, and they're creating a nice wall of zone of control that allows him to advance this catapult again. And yeah, it's gonna force maybe that mindbender to retreat. Problem is the giants are more than capable of dealing with a giant siege there. That is, if Willibomb didn't also have the potential for giant pushing on both these cities. He's got population in spades, but Majak's the one who needs to figure out some kind of way to attack here. Will he be able to? He picked up fishing, I don't know how many turns ago it was, and haven't seen much use of that since. Organization too. Yeah, pick up that, and now you freed up the spot to go ahead and put a market down there. Another giant, yeah, 1 star short of the market, decides to go after the giant instead. Happy to get that catapult and have giant pushed it in range last turn. Just pick up some damage on Majak's giant right there. So yeah, Willibomb does have some issues with his defense right now. That Leto city is pretty inadequately defended with just the 1 mindbender in range of a catapult right now. Needs to do something about that. Maybe he's going to move his roads around, get his 2 giants in up to defend. But it seems like he's more concerned with picking up the bigger markets right now. Yeah.
Don't worry, enemy at the gates, big line go up. It's fine.
The line is going up, so
it is. I mean, it's not slowing down anytime soon. Undeniably, the Willibomb stock market absolutely massive these days. It's just a case of what is he going to use the money for? He has double the amount of units, and yet is still under threat. I mean, he could push in the west at the same time as forcing, so he can split Majak's attention. Again, I'm seeing sort of more passive play from him there, and I don't think that's going to serve well. In my opinion, it's what cost him the semi-finals last time around.
Yeah. He needs to get these giants into the defense over there, like give up a catapult hit. But he can defend that city. I think this has to be like his last turn of like setting up his markets, and now you have to like start buying the cloaks or something. I mean, it looks like he's got a strategy that he's pushing into the water, which, I'll be honest, I think it's kind of insane. I do think it's a little insane.
Tell us how you really feel.
Does it work? It works in the way that, like, if you're... Actually, I can't come up with anything. It works in the way that, like, anything works right now. I should say I can't come up with anything clever. I can come up with a very stupid way to describe it. Willibomb can make any kind of attack work here, just as long as he starts, like, doing it, pushing it. Okay, maybe he couldn't do riders, but any other kind of strategy works for him. He just has to decide on what he's going to do and then commit to it. The water, it's like, yeah, that... I guess you could start attacking cities like that. Like, I see the way that you're going to pick it up, but, like, why would you do that? I give him credit, like, maybe he's going to do that in addition to, like, something like Cloaks plus Knights, but I don't know. I'm really pushing for that, but it just feels like it's the most obvious solution here. And yeah, Willibomb's got his giants up there. Took some damage with that Juggernaut, but is he just going into the water and then pushing into that west city right now? Got sailing, and this is going to help him. The scouts go ahead, yeah. Bomber, and then one scout to go ahead and pick up the damage, or maybe he's... Yeah, I think he might be going after splash damage. No, I think he wants to send this Juggernaut 2 tiles west to pressure that city over there. And then if he can pick up with riders the rest of the remaining damage on the giant, and then... No! He's going to use his Juggernaut to splash instead of pressuring the west city. Either way, he's going to be able to go ahead and pick up the kill on that catapult with the giant cleared. The giants really are the only barrier to progress for Willibomb here. Well, not really.
I mean, he has several of his own. He could literally... look, maybe I'm misreading this. Am I wrong in saying he could just throw everything he has forwards right now and win?
I mean, it's a question of technique, right? Like,
Yeah.
If he sends everything forward, it's like he's getting terrible trades.
Absolutely, but I
Like,
mean, he does
his
have
giants are
double
getting
the amount of
like
units.
crushed by the catapults, and then like losing to the giants.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Willibomb wins. Majak decides enough is enough. It was always going to be a losing battle, but he does, in fact, it was a good showing. I'll say that much. But
Yeah.
sometimes in Polytopia, we have to acknowledge the fact that it's going to be a lot trickier for one player than the other. Last week, we actually had quite even games. And it's worth saying as well, it's a best of 3. So what did you think of that game?
I thought it was a great game. Like, I really liked. I mean, it was really bold seeing like the start with the Capital Explorer. That's very rare. We got to see like a Mindbender conversion, making use of like smithery and forestry into markets. Like, it's all the hallmarks of IMO stuff. It's just that Willibomb was able to play a little more aggressively in the opening and like capitalize on that. Like, it was a pretty clean conversion throughout, like never really risking anything. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that you can nerd out about, like, you know, safe positional stuff as IMO.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. For all of my wanting a bit more action on the part of Willibomb, you can't really say that he made any mistakes in terms of how he played. Again, not being aggressive enough for Lath the Caster is not, I don't think, in the Polytopia rulebook of pure mistakes or misplays. It's going to be interesting, though, to see how Majac's going to respond to this. We've seen that mentality plays a big part in these games. We have seen that Willibomb has been there before in terms of facing that adversity. So maybe his experience previously will help him in another way. I do want to say as well, in terms of the quarterfinals, we have received word that Yeti Peaks has beaten the Liberateur. More on that in a little bit. We'll see him in the second semi-final. Worth mentioning, Liberateur was at the grand finals last year. Falls yet again in the quarterfinals. So far, we've only seen Meisterlampe in the semis from that sort of previous stock. So Yeti Peaks ready to defend his crown. Maybe he'll be the first, but either way, he'll have to defeat one of Majak or Willibomb in the final. Right now, advantage is Willibomb. We're going to get the second game started in just 1 second. We're going to have to see. It looks like, yes, it's going to be Yeti Peaks versus Ducks. So Yeti Peaks, to retain his throne, is going to have to face off against Ducks and then one of the other two. Now, out of that four-person lineup, who do you think, right now, who do you think is going through? Who do you think's the guy?
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. I mean, Yeti Peaks.
Yeah? You're going to back him?
Yeah, I'm backing Yeti. Yeti Peaks and I, bitter rivals on the square, you know. Like, raise my fist. But, no, I gotta give it to him. Just like the way he's playing. Like, he showed it last year, qualifying and then making it through to the, very final round before tragically just falling short of that top cut.
Well, he might have
him
to
or
do it
Willibomb.
again. Well, we'll see. Willibomb still has another game. He's 1 game away from being in the finals. Technically, he could be 3 games away from booking his trip to the next stage of the competition. We'll have to see Willibomb in this sort of lovely turquoise color right now.
Turquoise.
There you go. Take me through this sort of start. Very different one than the previous one.
Yeah, so this is one of the really economic things that you're able to pull off with IMO. We have a lighthouse spawn, so we had to send that warrior up north, uncover the added fog tile there. But it picks up a completely free, 0 stars invested population from that lighthouse, able to get this capital upgraded earlier, and rip and explore on his second city. It's going to pick up the let's admit it, kind of pathetic 3 stars from meeting his opponent, but he sees exactly where his opponent's capital is, and it looks like there's room for 1 village up in the northwest between them, which is going to be serious competition. Majak has a better chance at actually picking it up. Oh, that's not where you wanted that explorer to go. You know everywhere. Okay, he knows where Willibomb is.
Yep.
For the fact that he has that, if he was paying attention to score at all, he sees that lighthouse spawn and the 5 points deducted for that. But what he doesn't see is, his actual opponent. He doesn't get the star trade. He doesn't know what Willibomb is plotting. And Willibomb's taking advantage. Send his Mindbender aggressively in
Straight
there.
in.
Majak tries to send his own Mindbender up north or northeast, tries to push it closer to the center at all, Willibomb gets a free conversion, and Majak just can't see it. How does he want to deal with it?
Oh, that was a chance.
Yeah.
We'll see. Again, like you say, Majak doesn't know that moving 1 tile north, he doesn't know how close he was to disaster just then.
I think this is going to be a really fast game.
Yeah?
Majak had some unfortunate, the beginning just with the resources that he picked up. He has to upgrade his second city with organization fruits, his capital upgrades with hunting, so he needs 2 different techs for that, or to pick up, multiple different lighthouses. But, oh my goodness. I think there's, potential to attack the Mindbender here, and then just move your own Mindbender into the city. Oh my god. This is brutal.
This could
he's
be very
taking the
crazy.
northwest city too, so he's up a city. He's got better upgrades. He's got riders already. And he might be stealing Majak's second city and only upgraded city if he moves his Mindbender in. He doesn't know that there's nothing on the capital, and that he can do that. But there it is.
He moves forwards.
Yeah. No, he steals that city now. He's gonna keep him on only the level 1 capital.
Wow! What a statement of intent from Willibomb here. Does Majak know?
God.
Does he know?
And so Majak, what he can do is he can make a try. If he moves his warrior northeast, attacks the Mindbender, he can get the conversion, and I think he protects his Mindbender for the 1 turn long enough that he can reconvert anything. And if he just leaves the city open too, now the rider bounces in. Alright.
Well, he has to do something. Again, he's got 1 minute and 30. Like you say, there's sort of only one real opportunity here. One way to navigate. Now, can he see it with all the pressure? Again, he knows 1 mistake here, and he is completely out.
Yeah, and does he train a unit is a big question. He does.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could have been interesting for sure.
So he should be able to keep this village, but he'll lose both his warriors around there. And once both those warriors are gone with riders from Willibomb, if Willibomb's able to advance everything forwards far enough, he should be able to take out the Mindbender too, and then play with a comfortable advantage, 3 cities against 1. Both of his cities upgraded.
1 traitor convinced. Wow, pushes forward.
Stepping
doesn't
off the
take
village. Yeah.
Very aggressive.
The
there.
idea here is to keep his Mindbender alive, because the 5 health rider can bounce back. You're always taking that city. But now that warrior that was threatening your Mindbender is gone. There is a rider up on the capital. I can't remember. There was no forest northeast of the city.
No.
If there is, like, Willibomb's Mindbender is safe. Majak can siege again, but like a convert to unsiege a city. But if Willibomb's Mindbender survives here, it reconverts the 2 riders, pick up the kill on the Mindbender. That second city is lost, and he's playing a game like the game 4 cities against 1. No, there is nothing, so the Mindbender will die here. Majak will lose his own Mindbender in retaliation with these riders, though, and be playing down with just 2 4 stars per turn against 7 here. Seem to be like 8, 9, even 10 if Willibomb picks up a workshop. So very difficult, just off rip.
Well, he has to hope that a mistake is made by Willibomb. Again, we're in this sort of quite a tense moment. We saw a similar moment last time with his capital being sieged. But let's see now if Willibomb can manage to pressure Majak early, get an early game win that he was looking for last game. Like you say, there are routes to victory for him and a route for defense from Majak. It depends now how each of them deals with this. We see a deadly dance taking place.
It's just brilliant watching Willibomb advance that Mindbender into the center like that. Now he's capitalized, but
he is inherently an aggressive
over.
player, you know, and that sometimes is rewarded. Manages to get rid of the opposing Mindbender, and you have to think this does put him in a strong position. Now, does he take the city is the question. Rhodes, okay.
Rhodes, keep playing as aggressively as possible. Absolutely. You have this early game advantage. Like, do not allow them to pick up anything. He
did take his foot off the gas in the last one and led to a slightly longer game. Well, quite a lot longer, actually. A lot longer than the average game that we've seen.
I'm just gonna credit Majak for the really good credible defense he put up in that game. Absolutely. I don't know, looking at it, just look at his capital. Only 2 units that he can train there. You see those 2 black dots. Absolutely pop cap there. So needs to come up with hunting, the 5 stars for hunting. To go ahead, 4 stars. They have philosophy. Goes ahead, picks up that upgrade, and now he's able to actually train a unit on his capital, but doesn't have the stars to train units on both cities. Retreating in the center and leaving his capital open for right now. And you have to prioritize units on the second city where you have no units trained, because you get the 1 unit on the capital now or next turn, you're going to be pop capped either way. So pick up units everywhere you can. You just need to start equalizing on you just have half as many units as your opponent, just start picking up an army. Now, Willibomb does have roads, but he doesn't have a credible attack built quite yet. He doesn't have that killer blow to actually, if he steals either city, of course the capital, but if he steals the second city and starts playing 4 cities against 1, that feels like, it might be resigned time too. He does have a way to siege, but what he doesn't have, or what he's evaluating maybe, is does he have the ability to set up multiple sieges into the future. He's sending his 1 rider in. Yeah, I think he backs up with the 5 health since it has the 1 kill. The 6 health rider has no kills. He's gonna leave the 5 health on there. All the same, probably not going to see a veteran anyways.
No, I don't think so. Right, I think we may be circling the drain here a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he needed to back up that 6 health rider further. And so warrior can go ahead and unsiege here. And then the rider goes ahead and picks up this kill on the 6 health. He gets a nice veteran from Majak.
Again,
Problem
Majak
is
is very
the capital.
solid defensively. Like, we have seen that. The only issue is defense won't win you the game, but he's doing as best he can with what he's been given.
And Willibomb has a capital siege he can pick up here. 2 roads. And Majak doesn't have the units to unsiege, so that should be game.
Here we go. There's the roads.
2 roads.
Surely he sees it, right? There we go.
Yeah, he's going after it, so... I mean, if he doesn't see it at this point...
Yeah, there it is. Majak resigns. A very quick Willibomb victory. He does go all the way to the final. A very, very, very strong start there. Tell me, what do you think of that? I mean, I don't think we expected the game to be that quick, huh?
No, I mean, if anything, you expected it to go on a little longer, just with like the kind of conservative economic start that Willibomb was going after.
Yeah.
Like he was presented, you know, this lighthouse spawn, like run yourself back to the corner, don't get straight into the fight right away. And he did go after that too, but like just he was pushing with his mind vendor.
Yeah.
That is not an aggressive unit.
Yeah. Well,
like,
it's
Willibomb
aggressive.
Makes it work.
It's aggressive in his hands. Man, fantastic stuff.